Hey everyone, welcome back. We're jumping right into Word Smart's List 29 today. We've got 25 awesome new words to add to your vocabulary, so let's do this.
All right, so first up, we're going to look at a group of words that deal with some pretty big ideas. Things like what's considered holy, what's not, and, what's just plain evil. Okay, so what's really cool here is that these two words, sacrosanct and sacrilege, are total opposites. Let's start with sacrosanct. Think of something that's so holy or important that you absolutely cannot touch it or change it. It's protected. For a lot of people, maybe a family tradition is sacrosanct. Now, on the flip side, you've got sacrilege. That's the act of being disrespectful to something holy. So, for example, if you told a really inappropriate joke inside a place of worship, yeah, that would be considered sacrilege.
Oh, this is a great word. Sanctimonious. You know that person who acts like they're morally so much better than everyone else, but you can tell it's fake? That's being sanctimonious. Picture this. A manager gives this huge speech about how important it is to be on time, but they're always late. That speech, totally sanctimonious. It's all just for show.
Next up, secular. This word is pretty simple. It just means something has nothing to do with religion or spiritual stuff. It's part of the normal, everyday world. For instance, public schools are usually secular. They're not connected to any church. Or think about music. Pop music on the radio? That's secular. A song you sing in a church, a hymn? That's religious.
And to wrap up this group, we have the word sinister. This word just screams evil, right? It means something is wicked, or it suggests something really bad is about to happen. You see this all the time in movies. The villain will have a sinister laugh or a sinister plan. It gives you that creepy feeling that something awful is on its way.
Okay, moving on. Our next set of words is all about thinking and seeing. We're going to look at words that describe how we use our minds and our senses to understand the world.
Okay, ruminate. This just means to think really deeply about something. And a great way to remember it is to think about a cow. Seriously, a cow chews its food, swallows it, and then brings it back up to chew on some more. When you ruminate, you're doing that with an idea in your head. You just keep thinking about it over and over, looking at it from every possible angle.
Next, we have sagacious. Now, this is more than just being smart. Being sagacious means you're wise, you have really good judgment, and it usually comes from lots of life experience. Like you might go to your sagacious grandfather for advice on a big decision. Why? Because his advice isn't just smart, it's wise. It comes from a deep understanding.
Okay, let's clear this one up. Sensory versus sentient. They sound a little alike, but they're totally different. Sensory is all about your five senses: sight, sound, taste, and all that. A camera has a sensory system, right? It sees light. But a camera isn't sentient. To be sentient means you can feel and experience things consciously. We are sentient. Animals are sentient. We feel joy, we feel pain. So a machine can sense things, but it can't feel things. That's the key difference.
All right, new section. This group of words is all about standing out. What it means to be unique, separate, or just different from everyone else. Let's talk about salient. The salient points of something are the most important parts. They're the things that jump out at you. Imagine you're reading a long report. The salient facts are the key takeaways you need to remember. Or if you're summarizing a movie, you only mention the salient plot points, the big, important events that drive the story forward.
Okay, now here's a word you really got to pay attention to. Singular. It's a bit tricky because it has a few different meanings. First, it can mean unique, totally one of a kind, like a singular work of art. Second, it can mean exceptional or amazing. Someone might have singular talent. And third, it can also mean strange or weird. You might see the singular sight of a bird riding a skateboard. So how do you know which one it is? You've got to look at the context of the sentence. It's all about the context.
All right, another pair of words that can be confusing: segregate and sequester. Think about it like this. To segregate means to separate things into different groups. We do this all the time, right? You segregate your laundry, whites from colors. But to sequester is way more extreme. It means to totally isolate something or someone. A famous example is a jury in a big trial. They get sequestered in a hotel, completely cut off from news and family, so nothing can influence their decision.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit. Now we're going to get into words that describe attitudes and actions. You know, how people behave and what they're feeling, from happy and hopeful to kind of mean.
And here we've got another great pair of opposites: sanguine and sardonic. A sanguine person is your classic optimist. They're cheerful, they're hopeful, they always think things are going to work out. Then you have the sardonic person. This person is cynical, mocking, kind of sarcastic. You know when someone makes a really bad suggestion and you say, "Oh, great idea," with that tone? That tone is sardonic. It shows you think the exact opposite.
Next up is servile. And just so you know, this word is definitely not a compliment. To be servile means you're too willing to serve someone else, almost like you're a servant with no self-respect. Picture an employee who just agrees with every single thing the boss says, even when the boss is clearly wrong. That's a servile attitude.
Okay, this next one is a really serious word: sedition. This is actually a crime. It's when someone's speech or actions encourage people to rebel against their own government. So if someone started publishing articles telling people to violently overthrow the government, that would be a clear act of sedition.
Let's look at scrupulous and scrutinize. They're related. A scrupulous person is someone who is super careful, thorough, and very moral. They want to do the right thing. For example, a scrupulous accountant would never cheat on your taxes. Now, to be scrupulous, you often have to scrutinize your work. To scrutinize something is the action of looking at it incredibly closely, examining every little detail.
All right, we're in the home stretch now. Our last group of words is a cool mix. We've got simple, sweet, and even a little bit of luck. Let's wrap this up.
Here's another pair that both mean simple but have a totally different feeling: rudimentary and rustic. Rudimentary means basic, simple, kind of undeveloped. If you have a rudimentary understanding of French, you probably only know how to say hello and goodbye. But rustic also means simple, but in a charming, cozy, countryside kind of way, like a rustic wooden cabin. See the difference? Rudimentary can sound a bit negative, like you don't know enough, while rustic almost always sounds positive and charming.
Okay, saccharine. Think too sweet. So sweet that it's actually kind of annoying or feels fake. This is often used to describe things like movies or songs. You know, a love story that's so cheesy and over-the-top sentimental that it doesn't feel real? You could call that movie saccharine.
Scintillate. What a fun word. It literally means to sparkle or shine. You know how a diamond scintillates when the light hits it? That's the literal meaning. But we also use it for people. If you say someone has a scintillating personality or a scintillating conversation, it means they are brilliant, witty, and super exciting to be around. Their personality, it sparkles.
Next up, salutary. The key thing to get here is that something salutary is beneficial, it's good for you, but it might not feel good at the time. A tough workout is salutary for your health, or maybe getting some really honest, critical feedback on your work. It might sting a little, but it has a salutary effect because it helps you get better.
And we are ending with one of my favorite words, serendipity. This is such a beautiful idea. It means finding something wonderful completely by accident. It's a happy accident. Maybe you stumbled upon your favorite coffee shop just by taking a wrong turn one day. That's serendipity. A great word to finish with. You guys did an awesome job today.